And with that, we're underway. A lot of the runners will usually start at Link's house for a pretty early entrance check, which they're going to be doing right now. That's 20 rupees. So what they're going to do is do a flake flipper over to the mushroom spot, and, well, you know, the mushroom spot, as in the potion shop. It's one of the very early checks you can do.
Yeah, the potion shop here, followed by the North Ferry Cave. They're very out of the way locations very early on in entrance randomizer, so this is a fantastic way to both get a houlihan in early, as well as get these really out of the way locations.
So we found Hyrule Castle right out of the gates with that potion shop.
Yeah, neither runner wanting to go into Hyrule Castle just yet, with absolutely no way to kill anything.
Exactly. And looks like one of our drop downs is the Kakariko Well.
Kind of a frustrating drop down to get right here at so early in the game before you even have a chance to find bombs. But maybe we'll find bombs inside.
Oh yeah, yep. We did find Quake though. And a big key to Ganon's Tower already. Jeez.
Well, that's early.
It's always nice to get that GT big key right out of the gate. So that was actually technically number 4 if we were doing a 216-bit guessing game.
I guess.
And then both runners doing the houlihan to get back to Link's house. And of course, you also get the money here for 225, and we'll be good to go.
It's weird not having any deviation yet in such a wide open game mode like this. I'm sure it's gonna happen eventually though.
Yeah, for CrossKeys, this is the standard way, as if like you're doing like, oh, Link's house, then either like Sanctuary to Kakariko. This is essentially CrossKeys' version of that.
Both players are checking this drop down right here, the Uncle Drop. It is just a fairy cave though, so will not be needed today.
Mm-hmm. Next, we're going to check the entrance to the Hyrule Castle, which is actually the brothers, meaning that's also a connector, meaning that when they get bombs, they'll be able to check that location.
You see Lin and now Goomba both killing extra guards here. They're trying to set up a different tree pole and hopefully get some bombs to check these early locations. That's 2 times now they've been punished for not having bombs.
But we find bombos in Sanctuary.
Not going to do them that much good, but maybe later.
And the Sanctuary is, well, almost close to the actual Sanctuary. It's actually a Lumberjack Cave.
Kina's Cave. That's now 3 times. Where are the bombs?
I have no clue. Not even the bush crab's giving out but 20 rupees is respectable. But still not bombs, of course. And
4
yet again
times. Wow, this is rude seed. Rude.
Yeah, that was a chicken hut, and there are like 4 locations, and yet no bombs. There's a bug net, but no one's gonna be grabbing that. I want to say that's vanilla.
Yeah, it's vanilla, and both players gonna grab it blind. Just 20 rupees.
Of course.
Goomba not even wanting to pick up the 20 rupees.
Just checking the entrances to that first itself is because, like we said, the drop downs are shuffled amongst themselves, and one of those locations can be.
Yeah, you don't want to be dropping down a Ganon for no reason.
Right. And yet again, Sahasrara. Oh, Sahasrara is over in one of the the fortune tellers, and Swamp Palace is our green pendant. Looks like.
Eventually, they'll find a shop, you guys, and they'll just buy some bombs. Find an early dark room there. There's several different dark rooms that could be. I'm sure both runners made sure it was not the Death Mountain Ascent, and then left when it was obvious it wasn't.
Yeah, and we also find Skull Woods. Specifically Skull 3.
Just more rupees.
Both Goomba and Lililin taking a Death Warp to get out of Skull 3. And there's also Hive Cave. What is this start? Like what?
My God,
we didn't even plan this. Here's a lumberjack cave. There's bombs.
Some bombs.
Oh, that's so rude.
No, they can grab it. It's fine.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true because it's
agate not required.
That's true. That's true.
It's not uncommon to find like bomb lock locations early on in Entrance Randomizer and not have any bombs for it, but to find like 5 of them is really cute.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, it's cool they have bombs now, but like they're only missing 2. And they might as well check the cave that I tend to name a lot.
Nice flute location right here in Kakariko.
Okay, actually, that's actually pretty good. Really good Hive Cave there. I don't even need to name it. It's really, just don't even need to name it. Like 300 rupees, silver arrows, and like a flute and a big key is really nice. And right away, Goomba is activating their flutes, and Lin's following pretty soon.
Early flute is a fantastic find in CrossKeys.
And French vanilla sick kid.
Without with everything being in like random locations, including your starting locations after a save and quit, it's very nice to be able to have the flute and get around just a little bit easier.
And there's actually, and speaking of Turtle Rock, there's Lililin found Turtle Rock, as Goomba found another entrance to the Hyrule Castle.
So these 4 chests on Laser Bridge will obviously not be in logic without any immunity items, but Lililin is going to show us some walk skips to get through it real quick.
Yeah, 3 hearts. Lililin will be easily sniped, so he's going to do this method to try and get over there, but we'll see what happens. And we get a sword over on Lililin's side. Here's Pyramid Fairy from Goomba. Keys of Skull was in a heart piece, or heart container rather. We also found that Harrow's in the Bomb Bubble Hut.
Vanilla Ice Rod on Laser Bridge.
Well, yeah, vanilla ice rod in the terms of rando. Here's the Bomb Bubble Hut in the Dark World, and we found a compass to Ice Palace. Not too useful outside of getting an item tracker. That's all it really does. The compass just gives you an item tracker, and that's it.
Did Goomba not check Laser Bridge?
I don't believe he has, but he did find another Turtle Rock entrance.
We see Lin going back up to Sahasrara, looks like getting 3 items over here.
And there's the Moon Pearl over on Sahasrara, so Goomba's gonna be
nifty.
Yeah, although I wouldn't say he would be hurting because Kana Samaria on the race game, that is gonna be tricky because remember the race game exits, the interest of the race game in general is going to be randomized somewhere. So good to know for later on.
Lin taking that sword to the dark room, making it a little easier to find out which dark room it is. It turns out not to be one that he's very interested in, and moving on.
So Lennon are going to check the drop down, which would normally be, and well, here's technically the vanilla Ganon location of CrossKeys. Yeah, typically that Ganon drop down is going to be over on the the magic bat spot. And Lillian found the laser bridge, hookshot cave.
So
Now,
while they can't get any chests in the hookshot cave, it is still like a connector. They could use 2 bombs to go through hookshot cave and reach another part of the game.
And also, it looks like the only thing to note too, the back entrance of the back of the tavern is the only location in the game that is not randomized. Since you're coming from the back of the tavern, it doesn't make sense to just randomize that. It's the one location that you're coming down. Then finding a key over in Hera, which leads to Misery Mire.
Yeah, one of the big important facts about key sanity in general, when you're first learning it, is that some keys are not so useful. So while a lot of Mire keys would be needed logically for different chests in Mire, you can actually full clear Mire with no small keys whatsoever. So finding Mire keys not so helpful.
And then finding the hammer over in Hera.
Hammer is nice.
And here's one of the chess games that's just like 1 in 3 chance you're gonna ever get it or not. So most of the runners will not go for that. And Guma finding the Uncle Cave.
Yeah, kind of a nice place to get the Uncle drop, because normally you would need the gloves to enter this drop. But because the Uncle Cave has both an entrance and a fall that connect everything, you don't need both.
Yeah, like we mentioned, it's a like we mentioned, it's the jumps are randomized amongst themselves. So, like for example, the back of a skate drop will be different. Just yeah. So Guma's gonna do some cleanup here over on the Kakariko well, and gets rewarded with blue mail. And then finding out that the Kansas Mario is also on the race game. The one thing to consider though is that when you're doing the race game, the only way you can actually get in there to check the next entrance is to have the mirror. You have the mirror from where the digging game would normally be, just to get to the race game.
It's also possible that they'll just find the other side of that connector and find themselves at race game that way.
Of course, yeah. Of course. It's possible that can happen. 50 rupees on Agina's cave as Lennon enters Eastern Palace fully, getting a map to the Hyrule Castle. Not too helpful, especially in Key Sanity. While sure, the map it might be nice if you're doing a standard, if you're just looking for the map just to make sure you don't get the Sanctuary chest. In CrossKeys or even Key Sanity in general, it's not helpful. It's just a filler item. Now Goomba doing the chicken hut. And a key to Piles of Darkness, 1 of 6.
Pod keys are nice. Pod keys are like a really frustrating thing in Key Sanity because you don't need that many keys to get to that many chests, but you need a lot of keys to get to all the chests. So
Exactly.
it kind of makes a pod this place you want to find really, really late or really, really early.
And the dam is only just a room. I still don't remember. It's probably I think it's like I remember hearing some of like it's supposed to be some sort of Death Mountain, or was it Bumper Cave? I forget specifically.
I don't know what you're saying.
As referring to the let's not worry about that for now. As Goomba flutes over to Juan and finding Mini Moldorm Cave. Ironic, since he just entered the Mini Moldorm Cave entrance to find the tavern. And a key to Tower of Hera, some flippers. Okay, that's gonna be helpful. A key over to Turtle Rock, some bombs, and another key to Castle Tower.
Key it up. It's kind of a frightening place to be on 4 hearts with the dead rocks and the boulders coming down.
Oh, definitely, yeah. CrossKeys is not for the faint of heart. If you really want to try it, you have to be prepared to take a lot of notes and pretty much know what you're doing.
And then finishing up Eastern Palace, didn't find any progression there, but got everything except for the big chest and the boss.
And we also find the connector for Bumper Cave.
Oh, that was interesting. Lin going into the middle section here of Turtle Rock. With Bombos, it's really not so bad. But Chain Chomps still do a lot of damage.
You'll about find Mire Shed. Just nothing in there, though, as Lin continues his trek through Turtle Rock. So here's one of the many buy 20 rupees and buy a hint for 20 rupees, and the big chest in Ganon's Tower contains a red rupee. The hints in CrossKeys are much more descriptive than it is in a regular game, so it usually gives up very helpful hints later on, like that big chest being pretty much dead.
You know, unfortunately, there's like 3,000 things the hints can refer to.
It looks like we also found the entrance to Ganon's Tower, not Ganon's Tower, Death Mountain.
Yeah, it definitely looks like the old man cave here.
You'll be able to tell if it's the old man cave just by the keys just flying around.
So this will get Goomba the Mountain Cave save and quit point, but we don't know where that is. It could be anywhere.
Well, the old man's probably feels confused where he's going, so a little bit to figure out where he was going there.
Oh, and then taking a bite from a Chain Chomp right away. This is rough.
Yeah, the chain chomps in general are very, very rough to find, and he finds a key to Misery Mire, though.
Yeah, so the Turtle Rock dive and the Eastern Palace dive really not turning into anything for Lin.
Goomba crosses into the Dark World with that Moon Pearl, and is going to immediately check the Spike Cave entrance. And what do you know? It's Spike Cave. And I also found the archery game in the Dark World, and it's going to save a quit after that.
Yeah, not a terrible place to find out, although both of our runners have tons of rupees already. A lot of rupees, actually, for only 20 minutes into the seed. I guess that's what happens when you don't find any bombs.
And ether is required for the Misery Mire entrance. Now, I say entrance because let me try again. The reason why I say entrance is because you don't even need to get the medallions. Just so you can only open the medallions. The medallions are only used for checking a entrance. So Turtle Rock's entrance and Misery Mire's entrance will be locked by a medallion.
Kind of a really nice place, though, to have that mountain cave. Oftentimes, your only access to the mire area early on is like through a couple connectors or something. So being able to just save and quit over to the mire area is kind of nice.
And Goomba finding Paradox Cave.
Yeah, a lot of checks here in Paradox Cave. Also, 2 more entrances that he'll be able to check. But one of them is only going in one direction without the mirror.
We did find a mushroom and a map to Desert Palace. The maps in this game, if it's for a specific dungeon, it will tell you if it's a crystal or a pendant, because you can't go off the music because the music is also randomized in Key Sanity. So aside from that mushroom, there's nothing here.
Tons of hearts, though.
Yeah, hearts is good, but like
Make the game a little safer.
Yeah, you're a little bit safer with that, especially with the blue mail. And there's one of our answers to Turtle Rock. That's the entrance to Turtle Rock. You come out from the area that you don't normally get, and actually is required for Turtle Rock. So we don't really need to worry about that for now. And Goomba finds the bomb shop. Turtle Rock and Desert Palace are 5/6 crystals.
And coming out of Turtle Rock like that, Goomba will not be able to get back into Paradox Cave. Of course, even if he could, he can't get past the block that he pushed to get out. The Hammer's Sealed Building.
I would.
Yeah.
My first guess is probably the Hammer Picks.
Maybe. Yeah, that makes sense. Whatever it is, it's Pod.
Looks like our chat's pointing out that it's actually the Village of Outcast house that's locked by the hammers.
Oh.
And quickly, Goomba's going to turn in a mushroom before going into the Eastern Palace, doing the front of escape. Eastern Palace. It's the Hyrule Castle, okay?
Yeah, I think we learned that the magic bat has to be like the Ganon drop or something. So it's going to be a while before that, so there's very little point in trying to save the mushroom to make powder.
Exactly.
And with the mushroom turned in, as soon as Goomba finds the potion shop, wherever it may be, he'll be able to grab the item from it.
Mm-hmm. Now in Key Sanity, the one thing that stays the same is the big key that you get for Zelda's Cell. That's the only key that's not randomized. Also, there's also the only big key rather that's not randomized. There is another small key, which would be the Pinball Cave, the Pinball Room of Skull. Bunch of 20 rupees, and looks like Goomba's actually going to be doing a pretty much a hard reset to save the mushroom. I don't know why,
Well,
but
he's probably doing it to save the small key from
or
the
that
first
too.
guard. He'll be able to take that small key through Dark Cross and get those last 3 items in the back of this cave.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, he's turning the Goomba, the thing right now. Yeah, again, like as you mentioned before, it's
Yeah, as it is right now, the sanctuary was the lumberjack, right? So
yes.
they would have to kill Aga 1 to get to those 3 items normally. So this is an Aga 1 sequence break to do this.
So to pretty much minimize the possibility of having to do an Aga, and well, at least finding where the heck Aga Tower is, they're just gonna just save and quit that and
I'm not
keep
sure if he
going.
plans to do it right now, but maybe sometime soon.
Of course, we're still looking to find Aga Tower, so that's the thing.
Kind of surprised that he's not doing it right away. Sequence breaking Aga. But, you know, Aga's not even, like, close to being in logic yet.
Right.
Plus, not the most favorable dark rooms.
Right, and there's 300 rupees on Lake Hylia Island. We're gonna skip that out, of course. And Goomba is gonna, looks like, check the hobo, well, the hobo area.
No, it's Hobo. Hobo.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Those 3 locations, the Hobo, the Zora area, and the pedestal, will always be where they're supposed to be.
Hey, we found a big key to Thieves Town.
Now, if only we could find these down.
Yeah, that would make our lives a lot more easier. So what Goomba's going to choose is check the would normally be the bomb and arrow upgrades, and finds Mimic Cave.
Unfortunately, Goomba has not found that hammer yet in Tower Kara and will not be able to do Mimic Cave just yet.
And over on Lindeland's side, looks like we found another pod key or on the K45. And speaking of the bomb and upgrade shop, there it is.
Yeah, unlikely Lindeland is ever coming back here, so might as well spend some rupees. Refill bombs and arrows, get a higher max capacity.
Goomba now going over the Zora area. And there is a map.
Take me home, Whirlpool.
To the place I belong. Like Hylia. Okay, I'll stop right here. Goomba checking Zora. And it's a compass.
So with no glove, Lindeland cannot get over to Catfish, but with the hammer, it can get south over to Pyramid and the pot area.
Little than finding King's Tomb, only 10 arrows though.
Chooses to save and quit. Feels bad, man.
And the map of Skull Woods. Well, generally, it's not uncommon for some runners to find if it's a map on the Zora ledge, they're gonna just probably grab it to see what it has.
Lindeland finding Paradox Cave that we saw earlier from Goomba. Maybe he will check the other exit, though. They're both in logic with the entrance that they did found.
Mm-hmm. Goomba just grabbing the bombs and not grabbing the arrows. He's good on arrows for now.
Yeah, he's a little lighter on rupees as well than Lindeland was. Looks like Lin is going to check the same exit that Goomba did.
Yeah, which of course is the Turtle Rock entrance.
Yeah, Goomba's playing as Abigail from Stardew Valley. I don't know Lin's sprite though.
It's Prim from Secret of Mana, looks like.
I'll take your word for it. Ooh, Goomba, where are you going? Oh, he's gonna go over to the pot area.
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, it's just he could have walked there south from where he was before. It would have been a little less dangerous.
I mean, he doesn't have the hammer, so he can't just like just go up
Oh,
there.
right,
And
he doesn't have the hammer. He can't get that way. You're right.
yeah, he does. He has to go up to Hera. Mr. Riley's so bounty of 5 items.
My gosh, what could it be? It's probably Blindside Out, actually. I don't think we found Blindside Out, right?
I do not believe we have, no. And here's Super Bunny Cave over on Goomba's side.
Yeah, kind of a little bit of a frustrating location to find, especially when you find it from the bottom like that, because once you go into Super Bunny Cave from the bottom, you can't come back out the same way. So he'd have to abandon all these other entrances in this area.
Yep, so he's going to go to the Peg portal and also finding another connector.
Which is the back of Hookshot Cave, which we found earlier in Kakariko. So easy way to get back over here.
So typically what normally would be the entrance of pod. So in CrossKeys, Goomba's going to pay 110 rupees to check the entrance.
Was it worth? No, not really. Definitely not really.
Exactly, yeah, that was the hint for the big key, which we already found way early in the scene at chest number 4. Out of 216, mind you.
So Lin opted to do the same hard reset after checking the front of escape here, and we'll be stealing the key as well. Same thing that Goomba did earlier.
At least the good thing about having CrossKeys is that I don't have to keep lecturing you about its 22 locations, not 22 chests.
They're the same thing, dude. It's okay.
Yeah.
Right, no mirror, no hookshot. Goomba has to do Super Bunny the super slow way.
Yeah, because he doesn't. Of course, we don't have a mirror, so Goomba's still sitting for a bomb jump, which he gets. Makes it a little bit more quicker, but not by much.
You know, I never considered bomb jumping that before in my life.
Me neither, actually.
I have not. It's never even occurred to me that you can just bomb jump that.
Well, I guess the reason why is because there's that little bumper thing as Goomba finds the glove.
Glove is nice. If only we had a hammer, Goomba.
And what do you know? There's actually the exit to Bumper Cave, which is a Compass of Skull Woods. Again, not too useful because again, Compass only gives you a item tracker. It doesn't help you outside of that. And what do you know? There's the entrance to Hyrule Castle from the front.
Probably be the preferred way to get over to West Starkville from now on, at least until he finds a hammer.
Right.
Oh, I was hoping he'd go through the dark rooms, which is what Linlin's doing now. This path that Linlin is taking is to sequence break Aga 1 and check these 3 items in the back of the escape.
So now he's going to do go to Dark Chapel and finds Waterfall Fairy, leads to a desert palace, small key, and 20 rupees. Linlin now in the back of escape, doing that sequence break.
What did we sequence break?
Master
We
Sword.
got a sword! That's nice. Not that great, but it's nice.
Yeah, it's in a really rough location though, because you have to sequence by Aga 1 in order to even get that sword.
The B shop kind of a completely out of the way location. Nice that Goomba remembered to do it early.
Yeah. So the neat thing about CrossKeys is that normally these entrances you never go into, all of them are going to be checked and accounted for. Okay, so the weird thing about Skull Woods here is that the locations for 1 and 2 are shuffled amongst themselves. All the entrances and drop zones are shuffled amongst themselves.
Essentially, Skull Woods is at Skull Woods.
Yeah, but its entrances are just randomized between themselves. So let alone get in that cave for Thieves Town as Goomba finds a shield. So yeah, there's that compass working its magic, if you want to call it magic. So that 02 out of 08 is the number of locations items that are in the dungeon, including the keys and all the other stuff. So Lillian with that hammer, he's able to do Mimic Cave, and Goomba is leaving Skull Woods.
Yeah, he's leaving because the front of Skull Woods, like the normal first entrance, is locked in the back. So to get to it, he'd have to go down a drop down, and he'd have to test multiple drop downs to find out which one. And then to come back, he'd have to go through another drop down and do like a bomb dump or hit some crystals. It's very, very slow. He's just going to leave.
I saw Lillian getting a magic powder. Well, if he finds the magic bat and there's progression on there, Goomba is going to be hurting significantly.
Well, then I think we determined that the magic bat is the Ganon drop, right?
Yeah, of course. So we just need to find the magic bat itself.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They've checked all of the drop downs except for the one locked behind killing Aga 2. And the only one we haven't found is the magic bat. So the magic bat has to be the drop down where you would normally fight Ganon.
Right. So yeah,
it's very, very, very far away. That's what I mean.
Yes, they mean they have to find Ganon's tower and get all the keys and use that big key to kill Aga 2 and then drop down for that. So Goomba might not be hurting as bad, but it could, if it's progression and he hasn't and doesn't. I mean, he'll check it. He'll get that match. He'll get it, but we'll see what happens, I guess. Oh, and there's that potion shop and only 10 arrows. And now Goomba doing the ding game. And 20 rupees.
Our CrossKey seed is getting kind of stingy.
I mean, has it already been enough stingy? Like, come on, 5 bomb drops with 5 bomb locations in the start of the game with no bombs, and now this.
Well, then finding a connector, although I think we already saw the other side of that one.
Yep, and that leads to East F Mountain. Goomba, speaking of bombs, get some bombs.
Do you think Hype Cave is going to be hype?
We already found a hype cave. It was actually pretty decent.
No, the actual Hype Cave.
Right.
And then finding desert. Okay. not very nice game.
At least you can do some more entrances to check.
Yeah, it's frustrating to do these checks without having the gloves because you have to leave one behind.
Blacksmith was found for Lin. And there's Ganon's Tower.
Ganon's Tower. Oh, if there's progression on Magic Bat, I'm so happy.
Oh man.
Because they have the GT big key. They need like some small keys to really put in the logic or anything.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the only thing you can really check is Hope Room.
Yeah, they need the bow as well to go up the tower.
And the lamp on... oh, jeez. So lamp is locked behind the boots.
So what Goomba really needs to find right now is the hammer, right? Which we know is in Tower of Hera. But I think Goomba is putting off going to Tower of Hera until he has a fire source so he can do the basement while he's there. I believe that he has a small key for it. But there's a fire source locked behind the boots, which he also doesn't have.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Work with me, game. Work with me.
A rough spot, and here's one of the examples that Swamp Palace is
Vanilla Swamp.
Itself.
I think it's Vanilla Swamp.
Okay, so now normally in CrossKeys you don't have to like drain the swamp. Like once you drain the swamp, it's one and done. But does that still apply if it's a vanilla swamp?
Yes, it does.
Okay, good. Because if it wasn't, that would be quite a pain. And there's Thieves Town for Goomba.
Not the worst thing to find. It would be nice to have the small key while you're in here.
Right.
But beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah, of course. If he had the hammer, he would totally be able to clear it. Well, of course, he still needs to be a small key, of course, but still. And there's Ether. So that's all 3 medallions accounted for. One we don't need because it's bombos. And they're all in its vanilla locations. And a small key to Turtle Rock for Goomba.
I would expect him to finish out the dungeon here, even though he can't get to the big chest.
Oh, big key to Tower of Hera.
Good news for Goomba. That's going to be another big reason for him to go back to Hera.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's going to leave. I thought he would stay.
Nope, he's he thinks that was enough for him to find. He's got Hera to he's got Hera. He's got Misery Mire to open up, which we know where it is. Which we know where it's inside. If I was reading the hint right. And there's C-shaped cave or C-shaped house for Goomba, and only 20 rupees.
Alright, go to Hera. Goomba, listen to me. Listen to me. He says no. Never mind. Hold out just a little bit longer for that fire source.
Well, I don't know.
Or was this where Hera was? Hera was like in Kakariko, I thought.
It was the Bombo Hut. The Bombo Hut, which gives you the bombs and such.
I'm always gonna go check Meyer.
Yeah, it makes sense for him to do it because with the uncle spot, with the mountain cave entrance being where Fire Shed is, it makes sense for him to do this, and he knows where it is. So
yeah, we had that hint earlier about this leading to 5 awesome items. Maybe not awesome items, 5 items, I guess. Whatever. I'm sure they're awesome.
Yeah, let's Blind's Hut, so he's able to check that. And the one thing you notice is that he does have Quick Slide enabled. This is the only randomizer, the only race friendly. Oh wait, let me try again. This is the only type of game mode that allows for Quick Slide. Everything else is not allowed. Hey, we get the third sword. And the big key for Skull Woods, although really the big key for Skull Woods is only for a big chest, and that is it.
Well, Goomba hasn't been to that part of Skullwoods yet, so it'll make that a little more efficient.
Yeah. I mean, we got some keys, and it's helping somewhat.
Okay, now go to Hera. Oh, I think
he's hitting the 3, and
Hera. It's going to Hera.
Yeah, it makes sense for him to do Hera because he is able to clear it. You don't need a fire source for an item, or well, you still need it, but like
it's interesting though.
He doesn't have the fire source just yet. We know that there's a lamp on Ganon's tower spot. Quite a rough spot for that.
So, like, for a long time, Lin has needed a glove for Darkhold access, and Goomba's needed a hammer for Darkhold access, and they're both going to each other's location at the same time.
Yep.
Alright, show me all the good stuff. Modorn. We want to see mitts, we want to see hook shots, we want to see a bow. Give me something, game.
And we'll see, but only 10 arrows on the first chest and nothing good here. 3 bombs on the big chest.
Should be a pretty swift fight here with Caterpie.
Oh, Caterpie fainted.
Nothing. And it's a pendant. Come on, game.
Well, Well, Draco Fanconi is right. That is a Weedle. That technically is Weedle's colors. So Weedle.
But Weedle's poisonous.
Yeah, but like
He doesn't have a stinger.
he's not a poison sting. No, I mean that's true. He does have poison sting.
It's definitely Caterpie.
Well, it's a mix of Caterpie with Weedle. All right. Lillian checking the catfish. Only 300 rupees. Shiny Caterpie. There you go.
So Goomba doing these turtle rock checks that Lin had done earlier. Unfortunately, neither runner has found access to that Canis Mario we saw in race game yet. So not going to be much here for Goomba. In the meantime, Lin go into all those glove lock locations that Goomba's already done.
Goomba's going to take a Death Warp out. Or he'll keep going. He just needs to. He'll just Death Warp to just get to another location. Looks like.
Hopefully, we see Lin going to the back of these down here. We don't know what's there, but we know that Goomba didn't do it. But he may also get distracted by that big key for Hera and choose to leave.
Yeah, although the Goomba does have the hammer, but since he already went the Thieves Town, it pains me because Lillian does not have the small key, so that he can't just go and do it all one fell swoop. Right?
Yeah, neither runner has that small key though.
Exactly. So my hunch is that Lillian might just Death Warp out, because you know he knows that he doesn't have the smoke key. He can't check the big chest. I mean, he might also just opt to go for Tower Hera too, which we know is a pendant. And that's exactly what he's going to be doing.
Yeah, it's very tempting because, like, if you check that hint earlier, you know, 5 items behind that Ether Medallion. I got a big key for a whole nother dungeon. I already know where it is. I can get back here really quick. Unfortunately, we've seen all those things from Goomba, and they didn't turn out to be much.
No, not at all. Although Lillian will be able to get a tempered sword here.
That's a game changer right there. Not like for most things, but for some bosses, it really is. It's very, very nice to have tempered instead of Master Sword. Rude Zora. Sniping them.
And look!
That's a fun place to put that small key to Swamp. So, front of Swamp looking pretty good.
I mean, at least he can still go into Swamp Palace. I mean, he can't clear with the hook shot, but still, he's able to do it.
Yeah, it's a lot of item locations. Where was Ganon's tower? It was in a place. I'm pretty sure.
It's hard to tell because like CrossKeys, you need a lot of preparation and a lot of notes to take care of.
Goomba found it, but I don't remember exactly where it was. Somewhere in the Dark World.
Yeah. So around this point, so Goomba with that hammer is doing Mimic Cave. We know. I think it has. I forget it was had nothing. Oh yeah, it's the magic powder, right? Duh.
And then headed over to Tower of Hera, where he will find not much. And a pendant. I want to see a swamp dive. It would be really, really nice to go there for the first time with the hook shot, but it's still a lot of items even without the hook shot.
So I guess at this point, it's nice stuff to say that to be sure to follow the runners. They're putting their names out there to provide some entertainment for you, and be sure to follow me, Koi, and Itsude Mo, who are with you for this for the next couple of hours.
Oh, Lin having a little bit of a hard time with this bomb jump. Didn't find the position right away and got a little nervous. There we go, he's got it the second time.
And you got some bombs back, so.
It's kind of fun so like in a normal seed, when I'm commenting like a normal seed, like it's really easy to tell like what the runner's gonna do based on like where they fluted to and stuff. But in entrance randomizer, I have no idea where Goomba's going. It looks like he's
Exactly.
going back up escape. He'll get his
Yeah, it makes
sword
sense. That makes sense. He'll able to get tempered here. He's doing the sequence break so that way to make sure he doesn't have to do Aga 1.
Yeah, like in the whole like this play, it's a resignation that you're gonna probably get to do this eventually. And compared to doing this to Swamp or Thieves Town, I can do all of this now, you know, even if it's not in logic yet. But he is still like an Agatower small key, an Agatower entrance, and a lamp from this even being close to in logic. Oh, and the boots.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, there's always a possibility, right? Like that all of those items are locking the hook shot into like a logically required double dip of Swamp or something. We know it's not, because I already saw this, but you know, from his point of view, I can do all of this now instead of only half of Swamp now. Goomba's sequence break only leading to a tempered sword.
I mean, he's got tempered. It's not too bad, but we expect more than that. We need a fire rod to at least check the back of Skull Woods. And it's Maria, which we know is on the race game, which is locked behind the mirror, or at least another entrance if we find it at least.
A hammerlock house. Oh look, Palace of Darkness.
Yep, that's Pod, and looks like Linlin. I believe Linlin got the hint about that. And speaking of the mirror, there it is.
That's a nice item.
Yeah, speaking of the mirror, there it is. So, Linlin can now get the Kansas Mario off of the race game once it gets around to there.
Yeah, unfortunately, with no way to sequence break the Bollock side here, then we'll have to spend one of his 2 keys to open that center door.
Yeah, that's a problem. Hey, at least we got a big peek at making a Mr. Meyer.
Another dungeon we saw earlier, if I remember right. Unfortunately, still no way to get inside. Or at least past the first room.
Oh,
hello there.
Cursor on Gan's tower.
Atop Ganon's tower. It's in the gauntlet chest.
Yikes.
Oh, this is fun. I think we're gonna see a Nagatsu fight today, guys. We do need the bow. We're gonna go find the bow. But you know, it's gotta be somewhere. So maybe like... Lin won't need the bow because we're doing some mimic clipping today.
Yep, he's gonna do the mimic clip. It's a really tricky, and it can be quite time consuming if you can't get it. But if you do get it, then you do it, since the game only checks to see if all enemies are killed, or if all enemies are not in the room but not killed. He's gonna just do that instead. And doing some many strats here. And Goomba enters Swamp Palace.
Yeah, the idea here is that every time the mimic, he forces the mimic to turn on a dime, like turn in the same spot, it puts him 1 pixel further into the wall. But if he turns too far, he gets pushed out again. So he has to do this frame perfect input several times in a row, like I think like 8 to 16 times or something, to get the mimic all the way into the wall. And anytime he messes up, he loses progress.
Yeah.
So you see him opening the menu over and over again here. This is to buffer his inputs. And he's got it. Goodbye, Goriria.
Yeah, so that's the mimic clip. And it did cost him a bit of time. But since Goomba's way out of that way, I don't believe that might cost him. At least he gets a bee in a bottle, which we know where Sick is. We can turn that.
You know, it's rolled a minor glitch for the time being, so it's perfectly legal for Lin to use this in a no glitches race. But you know, watching it as a third party, how is that a minor glitch? Wow.
Yeah, but Goomba gets the gold sword, and yeah, the Mimic Clip is currently being discussed with the Racing Council once that's also established. Will be one of the points of talking, though, as Goomba elects to go to the left side swamp. And a compass against tower. Again, compasses are pretty useless unless you really want to, unless you're like you really need to key sanity and wants a little bit of help. And there's the other cane, that's Berna over in Pod.
Small key to this dungeon. Nice. Thanks for my vanilla pod key.
So if you use the key on here, I don't know about that. I mean, for Lin, it kind of makes sense, but for me, I would rather just get the big chest out of the way. Although What Lillian is instead going to be doing is a hammer jump.
Yeah, he has Amram too.
It's a really pixel perfect thing, that's why he's using menu strats. Goomba now over on the left side swamp. Lillian gets the hammer jump, and he gets into the dark maze. The only reason why he's doing it it's just so that he doesn't have to spend another key.
Well, he also doesn't have any small keys.
Oh yeah, of course. It just he's using that just to make sure he doesn't have any small keys, he can just use it while he's here. Found nothing, and there's the fire rod for Goomba.
Seeds really starting to come together, huh?
Yep. So for Goomba, that's good. So that way, at least now, he's able to check the back of Skull Woods once he gets to there, unless he has access to it. And Goomba now making their way back over into Eastern Palace, mainly just to get to another connector.
Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, the Hyrule connector to
It's okay.
over to the Bumper Cave. Yeah. And so Lillian is opting to grab the Cane Scenario now that he has that mirror and pod. So there's that Cane Scenario for Lillian, and Goomba, yes, is going to be doing Skull Woods. Makes sense for him to do it.
Yeah, he's got that big key. Now he has the fire rod to find out what's behind the back of Skull Woods as well.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty nice. Unfortunately, this is not the drop down that he wanted. We'll have to walk out and try another one.
Yeah. So Lillian also now doing the Dink game. Only gonna be finding out it's 20 rupees though.
This one works.
Yeah, he does get a key, which was the key for this dungeon, which is one of the two locations that stays vanilla no matter what. Mavigana's Tower, pretty useless.
Just for clarification with chat, guys, people don't get disqualified for accidentally incurring a major glitch. That's not that's not what happens.
And Hub is to Pod, but that's really it. And a spell key to Ganon's Tower, that'll help.
One step closer to those boots.
So the big question mark for us right now is, where's the bow? Give me a bow.
Yeah, that's a big question.
I mean, Lin has proved to us that he won't need the bow necessarily, but sure would be nice to have. Plus, there's also the possibility that the boots are in the Moldarm 2 chest, right? So they would need the hookshot to get to that.
Yeah, it's said atop of Ganon's Tower. It could be the Moldarm treasure. And looks like Goomba is opting to do Skull Woods, the final bit of Skull Woods, Skull 3, whatever you want to call it.
Is this in logic? Did we find both of the Skull Woods small keys?
I believe we have. Oh, that's rough here. He ran out of magic. It's gonna make it really quick, and looks like he got it. Good. That's.
Yeah, a little low on hearts, but Buttersword's kind of strong.
Of course,
as long as
yeah.
he plays a little safe on Mocula, should be okay.
He doesn't need the fire for anything as Goomba chops onto Mothula. All he really needs to do is just do some swings and hope he does not get hit. Does not go careening into the spikes. Both him and Mothula, that is.
I think
And-
Itsu is hoping that the shovel up in GT leads to the hook shot.
Oh, that is Titus Mitz on Mothula. Titus Mitz on Mothula. I know they are on top of Gan's Tower. It's a hint.
What?
The hint mentions it.
What are you talking about?
There was a hint that mentioned shovel on Gan's Tower.
Yeah, I know, but Itsu was saying that he wants the shovel to lead to the hook shot for the boots in Moldorm's suit chest.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
I don't know why he would want such a horrible thing for our very nice and friendly runners.
I see what happens. I misinterpreted what you said.
You were focused on the mitts, man, and I don't.
Yeah,
blame
I
you.
was focused on the mitts.
Those mitts are a fantastic find for Goomba.
Oh, exactly. I don't say anything wrong with that. It's like, yeah, yeah.
Goomba doing a map check and finding out that he knows absolutely nothing. Sweet.
Yeah, remember that. Just remember that. The maps, you don't have access to. Let me try again. You don't have access to the entire crystals and medallions and crystals, pendants, or whatever. You need to find the maps in order to get them. And Goomba is also doing pod. So he's gonna get that mirror, and ultimately he's against Mario. Then grabbing the ghost sword.
So, what do the mitts do for us? I guess like the smith.
Yeah, the smith, and we know where the blacksmith is. It's a matter of getting there.
I'm trying to think of other locations that are mitts locked that we haven't seen yet. I guess like the Ice Palace entrance, things like
Yeah.
that. But we already saw the Mire area. We've already seen Dark Death Mountain.
You'll find out the hint that the boots are on top of Gan's Tower.
Well, we found the TR entrance already. It was like the back end of a connector.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Goomba's also going to do this mimic clip for us.
Yeah, it makes sense for him to do it because, again, if you don't have the bow, then you might as well ditch your next best option and cross keys.
What I was saying before about why is this a minor glitch is I was just talking about like what it looks like. Like I understand why it's a minor glitch right now and how it's being discussed and everything, but compared to like everything else that we do in the game, this looks like super major, you know?
Yeah.
Like this whole process of Goomba like spamming the menu opening over and over again, and the mimic clip just walking off screen.
Yeah, my only problem is that it takes quite a long time to set up. It might just end up being a minor glitch at best, even if it looks major. It takes so long to set it. In which will be probably if you're doing a race.
The classification will be whatever people decide it is.
Of course, yeah.
What it looks like is of very little importance.
Exactly, yeah. Even if it takes like forever, and it looks like Goomba is giving up on it. It takes too long, yeah.
It's a very frustrating thing. Because not only do you have to do this frame perfect input, but you have to do it so many times in a row without failing. And every time you mess up, you lose just a little bit of progress.
Yeah,
reset the whole thing.
That's my belief. It costs you way too much time if you try to set it up, and if you're like way ahead of the race, your opponent might catch up to the point of overpassing you. That's my like concern, my only 2 cents on it. But
yeah, essentially, it's very similar to hovering, you know, which is
exactly,
also
yeah,
lots of very tight inputs where messing up costs you a bunch of time.
Exactly. So Limlin got the fire rod, and there's that information about the lamp on Bob's torch for him. So Limlin is setting up for a bomb jump to get through Gan's tower without a hookshot or the boots. There's a book of Adora in its tower, containing with the unique items.
And the only thing we can say for sure is that the book will not lead to the hookshot.
Yeah, the only thing that really opens up is, well, you're checking the pedestal. It can also lead to the entrance of Desert Palace.
And the tablets.
Yeah, the tablets.
Unlimited is going to get quite a few more items here in Gaina's Tower than Goomba was able to. Goomba not having the hammer or the Cane of Samaria when he was here before.
And looks like he's doing Tower Room.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense in Entrance Randomizer to do Tower Room. Like, it's not like you're just going to leave this one item location behind forever and ever, right? Yeah, the hamsters were a little angry, but I calmed them down. It's okay, you guys. Vanilla Smokey.
Goomba doing the blacksmiths now. Only a heart piece.
Of course, turning in the blacksmith will make the purple chest available. As annoying as that is.
The only problem is that we know that the magic bat is all the way over on the pyramid when you drop in the Ganon breaks the pyramid. So we can't really do anything about that at the moment. But instead, Goomba's doing hammer pegs. And hammer pegs leads to Turtle Rock. In front of it,
Wow,
at
that
least.
would be a really nice thing to be at if you had like Cane of Samaria and had.
Yeah, at the front of it. So, was taking the purple chest, but again, we only know that he doesn't. We don't have a lot of anything. We don't have anything to deal with. Unless he wants to just take it all the way over to Ganon's tower, like I don't see why.
What are you saying?
I don't even know what I'm saying. I just like.
I don't know. He's starting at the purple
Yeah.
chest.
Oh, right. What am I saying? Yeah, I completely blanked there. I completely spaced out.
Hopefully, Goomba hasn't forgotten about that Cane of Samaria location.
Completely spaced out there. That is my bad. And the small key to Thieves Town in Ganon's tower, Lily can actually go through and pretty much complete Total Thieves Town. Both dungeons start with a T. All right.
Alright, Goomba did remember that Cane of Samaria location. Good news for him. He'll probably do Turtle Rock next.
Lily's trying to do. He's locking all of the Armos Knights into a corner, and also making them stay in their proper positions, like their starting positions.
Yeah, Sword Beams don't do a ton of damage to Armos Knights, but it's very, very easy. No reward for it, though. Ganon's Tower not coming up big here. Turtle Rock really looks like the play to me. I mean, we know it's a crystal anyway.
Yeah. 4, 5, 6 is 2.
Goomba agrees, going straight to try and X.
And it makes sense. I like this play. Looks like Lin is opting to do the Pyramid Ledge.
He'll also be able to mirror over to the top of Hyrule Castle, which is another 3 entrances.
Mm-hmm. And only a shield on the Pyramid Ledge, and that's exactly what Lin is trying to do. He's going to check the first 3, like 3 of them. Now he's got the sword to sweep it down, and looks like that's the Hammer Peg's location, and it's rewarded with red mail.
Goomba missing that first Ice Rod shot, but he has plenty of magic to do this with the Butter Sword. Just don't miss 2 more times. There you go.
And we did find a connector.
Yep, Fairy Ascension Cave leading to the Turtle Rock Bridge, or balcony, or whatever you want to call it.
Which leads to the Spectacle Rock. Which is only 10 arrows though.
Yeah, we've seen the other connectors that go with this location, so he won't be continuing through it, but he'll mirror over to Mimikate at least.
Yeah.
I gotta think there's something here in the front of Turtle Rock. But there's still other places, like we haven't seen the back of Thieves Town yet.
Here's the bomb rat room looks like.
Bomb Shack.
Yeah, the bomb shack. Yes, the bomb shack. That's what it's called.
Just a bottle. It is our first bottle on Goomba's side, though. And Lin's opting to make the dive here into Thieves Town. We do have the small key now, so we can full clear this.
Yeah, it makes sense for him to do this.
It's probably not a pendant, right?
We'll see. Now Goomba's checking the sick kid, which leads to a heart container.
Sick kid loves you. That was the Saint card, even.
Yep, the continuing bliss was Saint card.
Oh, did we see all the pendants? Chat's letting me know Eastern was a pendant.
And Goomba finds half magic on the desert ledge. And Ice Palace, we found it and reinforcing some already known knowledge. And Goomba's heading out.
Goomba can sequence break his way through Ice Palace, but in doing so would leave behind the big chest, which is a little terrifying. He may opt to do it anyway, because a lot of Ice Palace will be in logic even without the big key.
Back of Desert Palace led to Bonk Rush, was led to a map of Tower Hera, which we already knew, and we literally finding a small key to the Hyrule Castle, which would have been which we would have been fine a while ago if he decided not to sequence break. Gooma's going to mirror out and check the front of Desert Palace. A dark room.
Fun. I think I'd be avoiding every dark room I can, just because I know that the boots lock dark rooms. And you want those boots, man.
Mm-hmm. Gooma checking the checkerboard cave entrance. Map of Thieves Town. How ironic! And we found Aga Tower over on Checkerboard Cave. So the good news for him is that he's able to keep going because he has a fire rod. Big chest only has 5 rupees. Plus, he can get two chests here. And nothing in Aga Tower.
What the heck, game?
And let alone finding blind. Excellent fight from Lilin.
Yeah, take some damage, but otherwise, blind script on script the whole time.
And Eastern Palace Big Key.
Just what I always wanted. One more location in Easter.
Yeah, that bit chest is all the runners like. That's all Lilin has to do. If he had the bow, he would well, anyway, to be fair, it's pendant.
Alright, Lillian's gonna finish up Skullwoods, which will be his Titan's Mitts, and we'll probably drive him away from checking that Eastern Palace Big Key for a while. Yeah, I don't know. There's just so many things that everybody can do, and everything seems so awful.
Lilin taking out Mothra and getting the Titan Smiths. Go ahead to the opposite side of Desert Palace to check these 2 chests. Big Key for Swamp Palace. Okay. Only for a big chest, though.
Yeah, essentially a fetch quest at this point.
Yeah. 100 rupees remaining, though. That's pretty much it. And hey, there's the floating islands. And it's a map to Dark Palace, which he's able to find some information about, well, for his light world. And Spiral Cave is in Hookshot Cave.
We know where the exit to Spiral Cave is, which won't be too helpful, but that is an item.
Mm-hmm.
But this will be our first look over here at the Tower of Hera entrance. Unfortunately, Goomba has not picked up that book from Ganon's Tower yet, and we'll have to leave the Ether Tablet behind.
Yeah, that's the one thing that might hurt him too, is if there's an item here. Although Tower of Hera is Ice Rod Cave, which is only some cold bombs. And a small key to Turtle Rock was on top of Spectacle Rock.
Not terribly useful. Will we see a pet check out of Lin 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 here? I sure hope so.
It's likely. He's gonna check this, and it's another fairy location. So, yeah, it looks like we are gonna look at a pet check. Although, okay, good. I thought he was gonna be bonked there. And the pet is a little piece of love. So that's pet out of the way. Sorry, chat.
There's to just answer chat real quick, as far as like the average time of a CrossKeys seed, there is a ton of variability in CrossKeys. I've seen CrossKeys where like the God route was sub 2, and I've seen CrossKeys where 3.5 hours felt quick. Both of these runners are very accomplished, so I would expect about 3 hours for like just a normal amount of trolliness.
Right.
If we ever find these darn boots, though, that time might come down real quick. Lin 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 thinks about going into Ice Palace, but opts to walk outside. Maybe there's an Ice Palace big key over here. There's not. And Goomba, who's put off going into Eastern for so long, finally decides that it's time to go there. But still without the big key, which Lin 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 has found.
A bit more overlap between the two runners.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty typical here for CrossKeys, just runners constantly doing things that the other one already did.
Yeah.
The big difference maker right now is Lin Lin Lin's dip into Ganon's Tower, but all he got from that was a book.
Otherwise, they're both pretty much lock in step. Oh, and apparently Ice Palace leads to Desert Palace, as Lin is about to find out.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to do him much good without the big key, though.
It's something no other runner has done yet.
Ice Palace starting to look pretty good. Like I said before, it's really uncomfortable to go into Ice Palace without the big key because you're essentially orphaning a location, and it takes so long to get back to that location that you may end up putting it off for the rest of the game if you do find the big key later.
Right.
But Lin, out of nice things to do, says let's do this not completely a horrible thing instead. All right, Goomba making the trip into Ganon's Tower now. But we saw this from Lin already. It's just a book.
Yeah, but that was gonna be quite tricky too, and we know that the pet is not is dead. Yeah. Hmm.
Oh, well, that's a nice hint.
Yeah, that's a really good hint.
Leaving. What was the hint? I only like half read it. It was something about the Ice Palace big key.
I suppose big key is a key for pod.
The big chest is a key for pod.
I think it's a big key for pod too. I think that's what it is. Yep, big chest is a pod big key.
Okay, so that would explain why Lin wants to leave, because he knows he's going to need that big chest in Ice Palace later. Unfortunately, it's also very possible that the Ice Palace big key is locked behind Ice Palace. Many of the locations in Ice Palace are in logic without the big key.
Mm-hmm.
And it could just be a vanilla big key in Ice Palace, or like the hookshot leading to it or something.
Speaking of Ice Palace, we found a map for it in Turtle Rock. And Lilith is doing the vanilla Spike Cave. And only a compass for Tower Hera.
I still think it's a little surprising that Lin left Ice Palace. Like, you're already, fairly deep in the dungeon at that point. And
right.
I mean, it's annoying to have to know that you're going to have to come back later, but like, you're already there. It's almost wishful thinking that you won't have to double dip it again. There's that small key for Goomba for Thieves Town. Probably drive him back there as soon as he finishes this really terrible Armos fight. Cane of Burnham makes it a little nice though.
Mm-hmm. Although it causes a lot of lag, even with the gold sword. And Little is doing Spiral Cave.
Yeah, this is an item location we have yet to see. What if it's the boots?
It's not. It's on Ganon's
know.
tower. Yeah.
What if it's the
Lillian,
bow that leads to the boots? There's a better.
you wouldn't be too wrong. Well, it's close. Got 10 arrows, but still not bow.
Basically the bow.
Yes. And a good points brought up in chat. We have not seen what Graveyard Ledge is. And Lenlin is also going to be finishing up Shrine X. And as Goomba is opting to go for Thieves Town, also clearing Blind.
Yeah, the Ganon's Tower Big Key chest was like 20 rupees or something.
Yeah, 20 rupees and that was it.
You know, it's funny. Goomba did the same thing. That double spin on Trinex right there at the start of the last phase. It's a little easier if you're facing to the right instead of the left. But Goomba was also facing to the left. Whatever works, though, right?
Mm-hmm. But there goes Trinex for Lilith, and he's against Crystal.
I really feel like at some point somebody's gonna have to go all the way through Ice Palace without that big key.
Yeah.
As horrible as it is. Unfortunately, we've seen both Turtle Rock and Thieves Town, so we as commentators and audience members know that this is not the play.
Exactly. The only thing that's left really is to find a big key, which leads to Pod. The Pod big key, which leads to killing Halmasar. Well, once we get the bow, of course.
And a bunch more small keys.
Much more small keys, yeah. And looks like Big Key's got Goomba got the big key for Eastern Palace.
It's gotta be real frustrating for Goomba because he very recently finally dipped into Eastern. It's funny to see like so much deviation from our runners. Like they're very rarely in the same place at the same time, yet they all have the exact same items. Looks like Goomba's going to bomb jump his way to Stalfos room. Lin did do this earlier. We know that it's not going to be very useful. I believe we did see the Mire entrance at some point. I do forget where, though. I thought we did. Maybe I'm imagining. I might have been imagining it.
So Lin is going to be grabbing that that key.
Oh, he's going to bomb jump down to double firebar.
And Lin is also doing the ether tablet because he has that book in hand. You might as well check it now.
Yeah, first time we've seen this. It's a small key. Don't know what for, but it's a small key. Castle Tower.
Not much. It doesn't really help.
If we give logical access to the Tempered Sword, as soon as we find the boot, I guess.
Pretty much, but all runners have already gotten it, so what's the point?
Gooma's trying to set up this bomb jump, but every time his spin hits the spike, it knocks him off the position.
Yeah, and he's just gonna give up and head out.
All right, we have an official change of personnel here on the restream. Itsudomo not feeling so well. Gonna step out. Wall Kicks will be taking over as tracker. Hope you feel better, Itsu.
Goomba's doing the getting a key for Ice Palace.
Go to Ice. Go to Ice. Oh, I think he's gonna go to Ice. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's the right play to make.
Oh, we gotta mark book for Goomba.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
that was missed during the personnel changeover. So our audience members might recall Lin made this dip earlier, but upon reading the second hint tile said nope and just left.
Now if Goomba does that, it's gonna be rough.
I doubt it.
My hope is that Goomba decides to keep going after reading the hint in the Stalfos room.
Yeah, when Lin was here earlier, there was just so many more locations left in the game that it felt like a good gamble, to leave and maybe get the Ice Palace key somewhere else. But I think for Goomba, that's not going to be the case. He does not have that much left in this game.
Yep, and
We're
Goomba
not
is
bottleneck, but We're pretty.
If
well
Goomba's actually making the play right now, he's going to be doing it. First setting up for the bomb jump. Getting it. And Graveyard Lodge is just the fair. It's just a lettuce fairy.
Will this be our great difference maker in this race, though?
We'll see what happens. Goomba now making their way over. He's gonna do this do his hookshot locked areas without the hookshot, so that's gonna be a little bit tricky.
Trying to think of other places we haven't seen, and the only thing that really comes to mind is that Eastern Palace big chest.
Yeah, I think they're better off just
Maybe
waiting for the bitch.
swamp
Wait,
big chest? Did we
maybe.
find a swamp big key?
I want to believe so. We did find a Kiva small for a Meyer though, but not a Swamp Palace one. A compass for Swamp Palace.
Oh, I didn't know you could mirror right there. That's way faster than walking up the steps.
The more you know.
And knowledge is power.
And we got a cape for Goomba.
That does so much. Wait, no, the other thing. Not anything. Sweet.
Yeah, that cape is pretty useless.
I know we saw Bumper Cave at some point, but I don't remember if we saw the other side of Bumper Cave.
No.
I think so. Just give me the Brutes game. Yet another Ganon Tower small key. Oh yeah, we did find the big key for a swamp. It was in desert. Alright, so on our official list of horrible fetch quest locations still left to check, we have Eastern Palace Big Chest and Swamp Palace Big Chest.
Correct. And we're all looking for is a hookshot, a bow, Desert Palace Big Key,
Boots.
and boots.
Goodbye, Pod Big Key. I'll miss you, Pod Big Key.
Pod Big Key, and of course that Ice Palace Big Key, which we know what the Pod Big Key is. It's here at Ice Palace.
Goomba unfortunately getting that door bug. This happens when you like push the block and step on the switch at the same time. The door won't open, but the block is already pushed on top of the switch. It'll reset since he changed floors though, so he'll be.
Yeah, not. It's a little bit of a time loss, but not marginal, but not like ridiculously bad.
Yeah, he didn't need those fairies. He was resetting the floor.
Yeah. So Goomba now gone cold stare. In a Dark Palace small key.
Bye, Cold Stare.
So we're coming up to the 2-hour mark, and there's still a little bit of random to play.
So Ice Palace was not the play apparently.
So at this point, I believe. So my best guess is really to go for the Eastern Palace Big Chest.
I don't know. They're like equally horrible.
Exactly. Yeah.
We might see Lin dip in there just because like he's in the area right now. Into the swamp, I mean.
since the pet is dead, we don't really need to really concern ourselves with our bow, hook shot, and our ice palace and desert palace big keys, or even consider that.
It looks like Lin will be checking the Swamp Palace big chest. Sweet.
Sense. Goomba also doing Spike Cave. So, I guess for now, pay attention to Lin as he's going to be opening that big chest.
Da, 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 da. Hook
Hook
shot!
shot vanilla!
It's vanilla location. Why are you
What
so
is-
terrible, game? Why you do
What?
this to us?
What is with this random? Like, okay, so we start off with five bomb locations that without any bombs, and then we have a whole bunch of vanilla locations, and a bunch of French vanilla locations, and now we get trolled so hard with a vanilla hook shot.
Very rude. Man, I sure hope we get vanilla bow too. I'm very excited to find out.
If that is the case, then I'm done. I can't take it anymore.
You're gonna leave me all alone, Professor Renderer? You wouldn't.
I have no other choice. I have to get out of this nightmare.
Can't wake up.
Wake me up inside.
Oh, we did that backwards. Sure.
20 rupees and a small key to the Dark Palace.
So this hookshot that they found, this is a lot more than just the back of Swamp Palace, which, you know, is handy. It's green pendant and all that good stuff. But we also have Hookshot Cave and Ganon's Tower, left side, suddenly available. And also Meyer, if we had found it. I don't know where Meyer is. I think we found it, though, right?
No, we have not.
I mean, no one's had any cause to, like, go back there after finding it once. I don't know. I guess Lin will show us.
Maybe. I was in the Lightwell Death Mountain. Okay, that makes sense. So Lin now taking a vanilla hookshot over to Argus, doing a machine gun strat, nails them all down. And down goes Argus. And only some bombs on... Wait for it. Argus.
Goomba going after Hera Basement.
Man, I mean,
This has been available for a very long time. The Harris small key was like one of the first things that they found. It just took them so long to get the hook to get the fire source.
Exactly. And Goomba's taking a coffee break while Lin going over to Hookshot Cave with his now recently acquired vanilla hookshot. Only a heart piece. A heart piece. Another heart piece.
Oh, give me the drink.
And 50 rupees. No, that didn't pay off well for Lin. I'm still thinking about that big chest in Eastern Palace.
No, I think from this point you go straight to Meyer.
Lin gets dead rot, and only a single rupee inside the the Hera basement.
There you go.
Yeah, I can't speak at all.
I think you just go too fast sometimes. Like your mouth is like just going mile a minute, and your brain's like, slow down, dude.
That's me. That is me all the time. Ah. And looks like
straight to Meyer.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so obviously the boss here is going to be out of logic without the lamp, but you know, dark rooms are, why not, you know? Plus it's a ton of locations before that boss that can all have super awesome items, like say a bow. Or an ice palace big key would be nice. Or a desert big key would be nice.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's all remaining Go mode items.
I wouldn't even mind saving a boomerang, honestly.
And we got a keeper Skull Woods, not really helpful.
Yeah, you saw Lin prepping the RNG there by grabbing the wall next to the chest. No luck. Goomba making the Eastern Palace dive. We have not seen this before. It could be Vanilla Bow.
Yeah, if that's the Vanilla Bow. Right? Oh no. I'm going to be starting to flip. I'm going to start flip tables. Starting to flip tables.
Please be the bow. I would love that so much.
Please do not be the bow. Thank you very much.
Oh.
It's a blue boomerang.
Ruined. Awful. Well, you gotta ruin all my fun, game. Although I think that Goomba's willingness to go into like Hair Basement and Eastern Palace Big Chest tells me that he will probably be going into Swamp soon-ish to get that hook shot.
Yeah, exactly. Little Man now is taken to the big chest. 20 rubies. One of these chests will have a bow.
Oh my gosh, it's not.
It's a compass to Misery Mire.
Looks like Ganon's Tower is going to be the answer to our ills. Unless it's this one.
Oh, you were saying.
One chest too early.
You were saying.
We found the bow.
You were saying.
I didn't realize he hadn't done that one yet.
Oh.
So not exactly go mode for Lin, but that does open up a lot more stuff.
BK mode, almost. I like that idea, just for using the Lin to use hookshot to get that chest for the pod small key, and then just falling down, so that way he doesn't have to like go all the way back.
Yeah, outside of Key Sanity, typically you check those first two chests first when you do Mire, but in Key Sanity it makes more sense to do them last since you already have the big key when you walk in. That's what confused me.
So Lin is doing probably the most annoying dark room in the entire game, and is this the Misery Mire dark room.
So I think like the Mire dark room is the trickiest one to learn, but once you have learned it, it's not nearly as bad as like the Turtle dark room. And Goomba gets his hookshot, and he will also be finishing up Green Pendant Swamp Palace. It's not exciting anymore because Lin did it first. Sorry, Goomba.
Littleland's playing some Space Invaders as he fights Vitreous. And it's only a heart container, so
Yeah, and I wasn't really expecting anything to be on Vitreous himself, since it's behind the lamp, which is behind the boots, which was behind the bow, which was in my.
yeah, exactly. Oh, Goomba is going to be in some serious trouble once he finds that bow in Misery Mire.
So I fully expect to see Lin immediately go to Ganon's Tower from here.
Far-fetched.
The question is, does he go to the left side first? I think he probably will. It's not too long to get down to Randa Room, and you want to take care of that before you finish up the tower.
And I like what Lim did was that he saved his portal so that way he can go to Ganon's Tower. But Goomba cleared Argus.
Yeah, and Lin will be going down to Randa Room before heading up the Gauntlet. Because even though he knows like the boots are in the Gauntlet, like he needs more stuff than that. Like he still needs Desert Palace Big Key, still needs the Ice Palace Big Key.
Mm-hmm. Lin gained the Fire Shield.
Yes, that is true. Goomba did finish Ice Palace. He had to leave behind the big chest, though.
And it's the red boomerang. Lin checking Rando Room. Oh, there's a big key to Ice Palace. There's Pod X. There's Pod.
Required. Lin getting super rewarded. Finding that big key. And opting not to finish the Gauntlet. Like at this point, there's so little left of the seed that he has to do. Committing 5 minutes to getting those boots does not look as good to him right now.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense for him. The boots aren't technically required.
I guess it depends on your definition of technically.
Well, yeah.
The seed thinks they're required, but Lin does not care what the seed thinks.
Yeah, but at this point, he's making a mad dash for the Pod Big Key, and all we're missing is that Desert Palace Big Key.
Alright, I think the dream for us as viewers is it has to be Desert Palace Big Key on Magic Bat.
Oh, if that's the...
Nothing would make me happier.
It was on Desert Palace. Desert Palace Big Key was on the Magic Bat, then...
No, wait, I take it back. The shovel, the dig spot being the Desert Palace Big Key would make me happier.
The shovel is in Ganon's Tower.
I just want to see an Agatsu kill, alright? No comms. Who's not calming? We're waiting with bated breath. Our silence is building the suspense.
Exactly. Yeah, we're still here. Just waiting for the all important moment when Lin gets that pod big key.
Well, we know the
He
pod
has-
big key's there. It's just like we have to wait for him to go to pod.
Exactly. Since Lin has never done the rest of Ice Palace solely because he left it when he got the hint about the pod big key being in Ice Palace. Technically, he was right.
Yeah, the second hint tile in Ice Palace said that the Ice Palace big chest, which Lin couldn't do, was the Palace of Darkness big key, which he knew he needed. So he made this big gamble to just dip out of Ice Palace at that point, and ended up not getting punished at all, finding the Ice Palace big key before having to come back.
That was a big gamble for Lin, which paid off significantly.
Well, it won't even be that significant, honestly.
Right.
Goomba's just gonna walk in and go straight to the big chest. Like Lin
Yeah.
saves a little bit of time routing the dungeon. That's why I thought it was such a huge gamble for him to leave. It didn't make sense to me that he would do that. Especially seeing is that any one of those chests that wasn't locked by the big key could lead to the big key.
Mm-hmm. And he never cleared Ice Palace too, like Goomba did. I mean, sure, he cleared Mystery Mire, but then of course he never did Ice Palace. And at this point in the game, he's just waiting for that big chest to get it there, get it done. Off to Pod to keep it going.
I guess the reward would have been if Lin could have gotten like Pod Big Key Go mode, and then been able to skip like the rest of this dungeon and just go straight to Cold Stare.
Yeah. So there's that Pod Big Key. We're having a lot of trouble in the dark room right now. It's down to 1 heart.
Well, that's all you need, right? Just don't get hit.
Yeah, he's got the magic stack. He's out. When using the bombos to break open the shell.
Goomba taking no chances there, opts to get that very first interference with an easy one.
And that was a really clean Cold Stare fights for Lin. And now it's pretty much a matter of going to Pod and finishing this. And pretty much hoping Desert Palace Big Key is there.
I think there was a 6 small keeper pod on Cold Stare too. Just in case he wasn't completely sure it's in logic. Of course, not having grabbed the boots from the gauntlet means that Lin will not have the lamp from Bob's torch, and will thus have to do some dark rooms to get to the boss. Not terribly.
Sahasra only had a heart piece, which refills.
Alright, let's go. Palace of Darkness, I believe. Where was Pod? Alright, the hammer house.
So now Lin pretty much going into Pod now. It's just getting in there, killing Helmassar, getting out. But going to regain his tower.
Yeah, I fully expect Goomba to make the same play that Lin Lin did and just skip the boots up Ganon Boots Tower. But it's possible that the Desert Palace Big Key is also locked behind going up the gauntlet. Maybe even likely at this point, because Lin Lin's only going to get one item location here from Almost King.
Alright, Lin's now heading to the back.
Finds that torch, no problem. Get out of here, turtles. No one likes you. Oh my god, Goomba, what are you doing? Goomba's unconcerned.
Oh no.
So Goomba finds the Ice Palace Big Key in Random Room in the second chest and doesn't open the other two. That's the kind of thing you do when you're in Go mode. Goomba's not in Go mode, you guys.
But Lin now on the Helmstar King fight, making really good work of that, and just 2 slashes to the crystal. A piece of heart.
Was there a Desert Palace Big Key hit? I don't remember that.
I don't believe we have. There was.
Well, maybe Goomba found it and we missed it. It's possible. That would explain why Goomba would do such an insane thing. Because I know Goomba's not an insane person. So this does explain a lot.
So yeah, at this point, yeah, all the 2 are working for is just that big key. They're in big key mode or BK mode.
And then having to do this frustrating triple dip to get to all the chests here in Palace of Darkness.
And it makes sense for him to do this.
Yeah, well, I mean, if there was a hint, then obviously Lin has not found it.
Lin also doing the hammer jump.
Oh, well, hey, there it is. Haha, Go mode!
2 hours, 19 minutes, and 37 seconds. Lin.
Well, regardless of whether or not Goomba found a hint, he will not be punished for leaving behind Random Room and GG. He has everything he needs to find that Desert Palace Big Key.
So, since Desert Pod, he never clears. He clears his coin pod, and Lin has a little bit of a lead, and looks like if Lin doesn't take a fall or die a couple times in Mullis, we got ourselves a race.
I mean, like, Lin has a pretty healthy lead at this point. It's going to take Goomba a while to get all the way to Helmosaur.
We already know, of course, we know that, and pretty much at that point, the Magic Bat had pretty much nothing. Both Agas stay alive.
Yeah, don't pick on Aggie, you guys, okay? He is a lonely old man. He needs our love and support.
Pretty
kill
much. So yeah, Lillian on the Lembo fight with the silver arrows is just gonna be a simple 1, 2, almost 3, but it works. But you get the point. This fight's really easy with the proper materials.
1, 2, swipe.
So now it's a matter of going to Ganon and killing him.
Bonus points if you remember where Ganon was. Don't tell them. Chat doesn't know.
I'll
They
let
don't
Lillian
remember.
Yeah, I'll let Lillian know. I'll let Lillian take the honors.
Goomba getting the lonely turtle. Oh, crazy sunshine. With the answer. Magic Bat is correct. Hello, Ganon. How are you doing?
Now on to phase 3. Oh boy! So what a crazy scene this was. We started with like 5 locations that were all bombable locations, and then eventually came up to a point where found bombs, and then it came up to a whole bunch of vanilla locations.
Okay, so Goomba's checking vanilla big key chests in Palace of Darkness. There's no way he found a hint for the Desert Palace big key, right? Because he would just go straight to it. Maybe it said in pod? I guess if it said in pod, this makes sense.
Well, it's irrelevant as you can put your GGs in chat for Lin as he clears Ganon and he will be crossing the finish line really soon. And
GG! GG!
yay! He finished first in the restream and in 6th place overall with a time of 2:23:53 with Hitseon 1337 finishing in first overall with a time of 2 hours 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Illis in 2nd place with a time of 2:10:34. Type in 3rd place with a time of 2:12:49. Korek in 4th place with a time of 2:17:55. And Melagord in 5th place with a time of 2:23:39. And it looks like we have Lillian on board.
Hi,
Hello?
Lillian.
Hello. GG. What a season.
This is kind of
like,
cool.
I'm kind of cursed because like every time I'm on restream or something, there's a vanilla something.
The
last time
restream is
I
a
was on-
curse. I think this is...
Last time I was on restream for CrossKeys, it was a vanilla hammer, which is very disgusting in CrossKeys, and this time was the vanilla hookshot.
Fun.
That's kind of bad. And yeah, I didn't really after seeing that hint in Ice, I was like, I'm not going further. No way. I'm not going back into Ice 3 times because I'm
that
pretty
was
sure
such
it's
a
not gonna be here.
huge gamble to do that, though, right?
Not
'cause
really.
Well, I mean, the Ice Palace Big Key could have just been an ice, or at least leading to.
I don't know. I don't know. Like,
Potentially, you could have saved a lot of time if you got to like go mode ice later, right, and just go straight to the big chest. So it ended up being like mostly a wash. You probably saved a little bit of time over.
I
like, doing it before the big
mean,
chest.
apparently there was a hint about the Desert Big Key. Was there?
Yeah, that's what Hitzian's telling us, and Goomba is certainly acting like it. Like he got the Ice Palace Big Key out of Render Room and just left everything else in Render Room. Like he left 2 chests behind, so he certainly thought there was.
I mean, at some
we
point,
didn't see it, though.
I just stopped looking for hints, like looking at the hints, basically. So I'm one item for go mode, and I don't know, checking hints at this point, I don't think it's gonna help me, especially when I did all the bad checks, kinda like left side swamp, left side mire, big chest of skullwoods. Like I've done all those kinda out of the way checks, and there's no point for me to check any other hints after that.
Yeah, I don't think the Desert Palace hint was too impactful on this seed for you guys.
I mean, sure, I could have gone with it, ice. That's it. Like maybe save one. Yeah, one place. That's it. I could have been 5th instead of 6th if I did that, basically.
Yeah, maybe, possibly you might have skipped like Hookshot Cave too, since you'd only be like 1 item from go mode instead of 2, and just go straight to Mire.
But yeah, like me deeping for swamp so early and getting the fire rod, I thought it was a good play. It wasn't. Because you needed.
No, like it was, but it wasn't, but it was, but it wasn't.
But it wasn't. So yeah, that's kind of bad. And that swamp big key location is also very bad in a sense. I found desert the main entrance of desert, which I'm assuming is like left side desert, and the only entrance we actually have is the left side of desert. Which is very bad because it's on top of the castle.
I don't remember Guma ever checking it either. Yeah, I guess it's like if you found Pod early and got the mirror early, then you check Desert early, and it's like, oh, you have the big key before you ever go.
There's no way I'm doing that with the route I took. Like I'm getting into swamp with the hammer and the small key. I'm not. I'm dipping swamp at this point. I'm actually doing that no matter what. I don't think that's a time waste to do that at this point.
I definitely not. I mean, that's CrossKeys though, right?
Yeah, in CrossKeys, of course. I mean, of course, if I'm open or standard and I don't have the hook shot, I'm not going into swamp. But in CrossKeys, it's kind of different, and I'm willing to do that. Like, getting back into swamp isn't that bad, as you don't have to like drain the dam anymore. So doing that check is not that bad itself.
I mean, of course, we only got to see you and Goomba, but like after like 10 minutes in, you guys were never in the same place at the same time. So it really highlights how routing like one little thing differently completely changes what the seed looks like to you as the runner.
Yeah, aside from that hook shot, it was yeah, the hook shot was kind of bad. Like I was tempted to climb GT without the bow. I was tempted. Not gonna lie.
Well, I may interject. Frostbite has finished. Not Frostbite. Goomba. No, he's not restreamed. But Goomba has finished second restream and 9th place overall with a time officially of 2:29:35.
GG to Goomba.
And I'm pretty sure Goomba thought the same at some point. I'm pretty sure she was willing to climb GT without the hook shot to get the boots. That I mean, I know he can mimic clip, so that probably crossed.
So like you did the mimic clip in Pod, right? And Goomba tried it but gave up like pretty quickly. So I think maybe Goomba probably wouldn't have tried to do the mimic clip up GT after failing it in Pod. GG Goomba.
GG.
Why?
We were just talking about you.
Can someone put that hook shot literally anywhere else, please? Literally
Exactly!
anywhere
We were
else.
just talking about that. It's been, like, come on. 5 bombable locations without the bombs at the start of the game. And we have so many vanilla checks, vanilla locations, and then we have a vanilla hook shot. Like, ah!
I mean, Goomba, you're on restream with me. You know there's gonna be something vanilla, like.
Yeah. But why was it the hook shot? Like, what is that garbage? And literally the entire seed was bottlenecked behind that stupid hookshot. All of it.
I mean, that big kill song was. Ew.
Yeah, that hookshot was literally my absolute last spot in the entire game. Literally. I
think I had ice.
even double dipped Eastern Palace. I went back in
Oh.
for the Eastern big chest before the Swamp big chest.
Hair basement too.
I
Yeah.
didn't want to do that. Like I basically took the purple chest. I was like, I'm just next to swamp. I just gonna go, I guess. that was the thought process here. Like I was doing purple chest into Bombus tablet, and like swamp is just here, right?
Right.
And of course, I went into Ice Palace without the big key, and the hit tells me, now screw you, you're coming back.
I left. I didn't want to go.
I didn't, because I didn't want to risk
Further.
the Ice Palace big key being in there.
I felt like that there were so many checks left, like Meyer and
Like,
left side GT.
Literally, if you just have the Swamp big key, and of course there was a hint for the Fire Rod too.
Of course,
Like right
of
next to the
course.
Swamp big key. So my huge brain play was not only mitigated, but punished in the hardest possible way.
I mean, I did the
Like,
same. I went in and I did left side, a hook shot blast, and found Fire Rod and was happy about it because after that we found GT and then we're like, sure, let's dive on the right side, right?
So I think we missed it on the restream, but Goomba, I assume you found a hint for the Desert Palace Big Key. Hitsian was saying there was one, but couldn't recall.
Yeah, there was a
where.
hint that the Desert Big Key was in Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, because at the time, like we didn't know about the hint, so we see you leaving Random Room, and it's like, what are you doing?
I didn't know actually.
Yeah, I knew Ice Palace Big Key was go mode because I knew where Pod was. I knew where the Pod Big Key was. I knew where the Desert Big Key was, and I knew where the back of Desert was. So I just needed to get the Ice Big Key.
Do you recall where it was? Probably not. There's so many hints.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Did you consider at some point climbing GT without a hook shot to get the boots?
I thought about mimic clipping to do that a few times.
Same.
I opted not to because that was silly.
That was kind of dumb to do, to be honest. Same. I was thinking about it, but didn't. Like, in the end, didn't do it.
Like, I think if the bow had shown up before the hookshot, I probably would have just climbed the hookshot less, just so I could get into Meyer. But obviously, the bow was in Meyer, so
That'd be a pretty big gamble, though. Like,
I mean,
even if
yeah,
you did get the
but
bow early, because like
I
can't
felt
get World
really,
2 or
really,
match
really
that.
far behind. So if ever
Yeah,
there was
for
a
sure.
time to make a really big gamble, that was it.
As far as like the Ice Palace thing, like Linlin found Ice Palace like a lot sooner than you did, so it made more sense for him to leave. He had so much more of the game left over. Where when you got to Ice Palace, it's like, well, I got Ice Palace or something much, much, much worse. And with both of you ending up full clearing Ice Palace anyway, it didn't really make a big difference.
I just don't like going in there without the big key, for reasons showcased
For
in
sure.
this very race. But like at that point, I was down to Hera basement, like Eastern big chest, Swamp big chest, Spiral Cave entrance, and Spiral Cave itself, and just doing Ice Palace without the big key. So I just said screw it and did Ice Palace without the big key, and of course got punished for that too. Because basically nothing I did in this seed was the right decision. Nothing.
Yeah, but how often do you get a CrossKeys seed where it feels like everything you did was the right decision?
Well, maybe not everything, but usually I feel like I made most of the at least somewhat good decisions. In this one, I just made the wrong choice at literally every turn. Like, it all started with getting my hammer at 45 minutes because I didn't want to do the crystal switches in Tower of Hera with bombs.
Yeah, it's
Which
kind
of course
amusing,
means
like,
I couldn't get into pod, so I couldn't get my mirror. And
Oh,
You guys-
you found
Uh,
Hera
I-
before you found Turtle Rock, so you didn't have a sword. Okay.
Yeah, after Kakariko checks, you both started going like in completely opposite directions, and Goomba ended up finding the gloves like really early, and Lin found the hammer really early, and you guys just went all over the world, backtracking on each other until you found each other's gloves and hammer at the same time.
I can get that if you didn't have a hammer. Sure. Like, yeah, I don't know which side you were coming from to Kak, but yeah, like I found that sword on Ledger
I
Bridge
came from the
very
north.
early. And yeah, I went into Hera with it, so yeah.
Yeah, I didn't go back to Hera until I got the big key at like 40 minutes.
Alright, so we're going to wrap this up. Any final thoughts on the seed?
I hate Swamp Palace. I hate the hookshot. I want nothing to do with the hookshot, okay? No more hookshots.
I totally understand what you're thinking.
Same. I mean, Vanilla, as usual, when I'm on restream, like, not even surprised.
Forehead.
Anyway, so coming up tonight at 9 o'clock, we have a standard seed. Make sure, and also coming up to on tomorrow, we have at 2 p.m. we have an open seed, and also at 9 o'clock we have a hard all dungeons key sanity seed. So be sure to check out the schedule, and also check out the schedule for everything else that's going on SG. Follow the channels on Speed Gaming, the Speed Gaming's 2 through 6, as well as the multi-language channels. And yeah, that's gonna do it for us now. Be sure to follow me, Wallkicks, and Koi, and the two runners, Lin, and Goomba. And with that, we're out of here.
Bye, guys.